Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Before we hop into today's video, I do want to give a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, which is Keen. You guys have probably heard me talk about Keen quite a bit, and I do really love incorporating them into my videos because I think they are a great company. If you guys are unfamiliar with Keen, they are essentially an online psychic network full of psychics and spiritual advisors to help you answer any questions that you have about life. You can ask them about love, relationships, career, anything under the sun. The things that I really like about Keen is that they are 24/7. You can log on at any moment of the day. You don't have to make an appointment. You can log on, browse through a bunch of different psychics that are online at that moment, and choose between ones that fit your budget. They always have ones that are of multiple different price ranges, so you can find one that works for you. And the great thing about Keen is you do not have to buy a maximum amount of time. A lot of times when you get a reading from a psychic, you usually have to buy a half an hour to a full hour with them. With Keen, they're very flexible, so even if you just have one or two questions, you can just purchase 5 or 10 minutes to get those 2 questions answered for you. So I really enjoy the flexibility of Keen, which is why I think they are such a great company. I also really like them because you can do it from the comfort of your own home. You don't actually have to go anywhere. And another great thing is that you can choose between 3 different methods of talking to your psychic. You can either hop on a phone call with them, or you can instant message, or you can even just send in an email and get your answers emailed back to you. My experience with Keen has been really amazing. I've used them a few times now whenever I have some personal questions that I want answered from another spiritual advisor or psychic, just to get another second opinion on things in my life. I really do enjoy them, and personally I find that if you're just starting out, it's really smart to try out maybe 2 or 3 different psychics to find out which ones are the most accurate for you and which ones you like the best, because everyone has different preferences. And Keen really makes it easy and affordable to keep connecting with the psychic that you love. They do send you specials every single week, so definitely if you are a current Keen member, check your inbox for this week's specials. If you're new to Keen and you'd like to try Keen for the first time, you can head to my special link, which is trykeen.com/gem5mins, and this is to get your first 5 minutes for only $5. So that is trykeen.com/gem5mins, exactly how it's written on the screen here. And there's also, for your convenience, a link down in the description box if you guys want to just click on that and head right to the site. And if you are signing up for the first time, they make the sign up process super easy and super simple. Keen will actually ask you a couple different questions that you just answer, and then they will actually match you with psychics that they personally think fit your answers the best. So it makes it even easier to choose from. Then you can scroll down the ones that you are recommended and choose from there. So again, if you guys are interested in trying it out, that is trykeen.com/gem5mins, M-I-N-S, or you can click the link in the description. And if you're a current member, definitely check your inbox for this week's special discounts. And without further ado, let's hop right into today's video, starting now. Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading. This topic is about meeting your guides. So we're gonna try to pinpoint who they are, all that kind of stuff. I know a lot of you guys have also been commenting about my nails and asking how I'm getting them done at this time. I'm not, actually. I haven't gotten them done in weeks. I just want to point that out because a lot of you guys are really confused about that. I also have a broken nail that I glued back on, so we're just doing what we can to get by. Anyway, if you guys are new to pick a card readings, I'm going to give you guys a quick little rundown of how they work. So we have pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can take a moment, pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you're the most drawn to. Once you're done choosing, you can scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that's linked to your specific card. And if you guys like to choose with crystals, we'll be popping some crystals below the cards right now. All right, so if you guys like to choose with crystals, here are our crystal options. Over here we have some regular quartz. This over here is some shungite. This is lapis lazuli. And then this over here is some, oh, I'm almost forgetting the name, blue topaz. All right, so again, pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you're the most drawn to. Once you're done choosing your pile, you can scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that's linked to your specific card, and then you can skip ahead to your personal reading. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so group number 1, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about who are your spirit guides. So let's get started. Ooh, okay, so pile number 1. This is what we have for you guys. So over here we have the Queen of Cups reversed. then we have the Chariot, then we have the Fool reversed, and then we have the Nine of Swords. So first off, I'm going to actually begin with talking about this card because I got a pretty instant message from that one. The Nine of Swords deals with sleepless nights, and so your guide, I do want to mention, probably keeps you up at night, trying to either give you signs, messages. If you ever feel like you cannot sleep, or if you're ever afraid of the dark, I feel like the presence that you're actually feeling might be your guide most of the time. So I wouldn't be too worried. This card coming up definitely tells me that your guide is definitely with you. Your guide is also protecting you. So anytime that you do feel scared or anxiety and stuff like that, I do want to mention your guide is like looking over your shoulder. And I get that message because if we look at the Chariot card over here, she's standing up, kind of looking over in this direction. This card usually deals with like our worries, our stress, fears, staying up at night, overthinking, that kind of stuff. So anytime that you're going through any of those things, or actually all the time, your guide is there for you. But especially during these times, your guide is just literally over your shoulder, protecting you, making sure that everything is okay. So I do want to mention that your guide is very protective over you, and they're always helping you and guiding you through these times. So a good thing about this is you don't ever need to be too stressed during those moments because your guide is definitely there with you, helping you through them. And I almost feel like your guide's also really proud of you. Whenever I look at this Chariot card, I'm getting this feeling like your guide is definitely standing there being like, you got this. I am so, so, so proud of you. Everything is going well. And I also feel like your guide's very confident in you. So even if you're not very confident in yourself right now, or even if it feels like you've made mistakes, stuff like that, your guide is actually looking at you being like, this is so perfect. This is so perfect. And I don't mean that in a cynical way. I actually mean that in a way of like, your guide is looking at you and they're like, oh, this character development is going well. So, you know, we always learn a lot from our mistakes and stuff like that. And your guide is there being like, okay, this is divine, this is perfect, everything is actually going very well. So I do really want to point that out for you guys. Your guide is very proud of you and also very confident in you and is wanting you to know that you're definitely on track, especially since the Chariot does come right side up. You are on track. Even if it feels like you've veered off of it or if it feels like you're making the wrong decisions in life, trust me, your guide is standing here like, nope, it's all going perfect. I have nothing bad to say right now. You're following my guidance perfectly. Even if you I know some of you are like, but I don't feel like I've been guided yet. I haven't seen any signs. Your guide is pulling the strings in a way that you might not even notice, and is allowing you and helping you see the signs and guiding you through your emotions and helping along with this character development of the soul, because, you know, all of us are sort of here for soul development, and you guys are doing it very well so far. So they're just giving you a pat on your back, even though they understand like sometimes life can get hard. They're very sympathetic about that, but they're also very, very proud of you. The Queen of Cups over here, they want to probably interact with you more. I'm getting the vibe like the Queen of Cups reversed is telling me that maybe you're scared of your own intuition. This card coming up, I feel like you guys are very psychic, and I feel like your guide probably wants to chat with you a little bit more, but it might be kind of hard for them. Maybe you haven't fully developed your intuition yet. And if you have, maybe they're just saying, okay, well, listen to me a little bit more. But at the same time, they're very proud of you. You're not making any mistakes, but at the same time, I feel like there could be some better communication right here. The Fool being reversed over here, this is telling me that you guys have been connected more than once. This isn't their first time being your guide. This isn't their first live with you. I feel like you've actually had multiple lives with this guide before, especially if you guys believe in past lives, stuff like that, which I am a firm believer in. But yes, this is telling me that you guys have had more than one life together. I'm also getting that this guide actually really enjoys being a guide for you, specifically a guide for you. And yeah, they do look at you in a very refined way, even if you don't see yourself that way. The Nine of Swords is telling me that you might see yourself and your life as, there's definitely a few mistakes that I could have avoided, maybe some stuff like that, or there might be some overthinking going on. There might be some like, maybe you guys even feel good about your life, but you're still at the stage of like trying to reach perfection and really trying to make sure that you don't make any mistakes and stuff like that. I think you guys are pretty hard on yourselves. This Fool card reversed is showing me that your guide knows that you're not actually a naive person. They have a lot of confidence in you. The Fool reversed is, how I see it anyway, is the fool that is no longer the fool anymore. They're no longer naive. They've done it all before. They've been here before. So your guide is actually very confident in you, and they see you as doing a very good job. You're not a young soul. You are someone who has done this all. They've been your guide before. Feels like you guys have the reins on it. You guys have the hang on it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I am picking up that your guide is definitely a female. The fact that we have these two cards, this almost looks like the same woman over here. So I am getting that you guys probably have multiple guides, but the one that is very prominent for you is a female, and she's a pretty headstrong female. She almost reminds me of Athena. So if you guys know any Greek mythology, if you guys research Athena, your guide is very connected to that same sort of energy. She's like kind of like a goddess in a way, but like an Athenian goddess who's very confident and knows how to stay strong. And she's almost helping you gain a little bit more of that energy as well, like this confidence, this surety, and this strong mindset. So your guide is helping you develop some of these characteristics in yourself as well. Let's add some more cards on here to find out some more information. So our next two cards, we have Get Creative and Ask Body. So immediately with this Ask Body card, I'm picking up that yes, your guide wants to talk to you a lot more, and you probably are more psychic than you realize. And your guide is like, hello, pick up the phone. Of course, you can't really pick up a phone and talk to your guide, but I feel like your guide sends you messages through your body. Again, you guys might have insomnia, or you guys might overthink at night and have a hard time falling asleep quickly. So your guide is actually talking to you, and your guide is going to talk to you through the feelings that you're feeling in your body, the emotions that you're feeling. Of course, it's not your guide's emotions that you're feeling, but I feel like your guide connects with you through your emotions and through your feelings, and through the sensations that you might get in your body. So what I mean by that is a lot of us can have this intuition where we just feel like there's another presence in the room. And especially when you feel like it's a good presence, it might feel like a strong presence because again, your guide has this Athenian sort of energy of the goddess Athena, which is a very powerful energy, so it can be a little bit intimidating, especially since we have the lion over here. So your guide can have this intimidating energy when they're around, but she's very benevolent, she's good. So yes, when you do feel like there's an intimidating energy or a very powerful energy with you, that is your guide. I feel like you also might, I feel like you feel like a pretty powerful sensation. I also feel like your guide does give you actual messages pretty creatively as well. As we can see, this bird here is like carrying this flower. So I don't know if you guys are connected with birds or flowers at all. But I feel like your guide is also kind of connecting to you in that sort of way. And there's a very creative side to this guide in the way that they give you signs or messages and stuff like that. But again, just feel around the sensations that you feel, and that will be your guide. Adding the last three cards onto here. We have Taurus. Also, I apologize, I always record my pick a card readings in the morning, and it's the first time I'm talking in the morning, and so my voice is always raspy, especially on pile number 1. Every single time I feel like my voice is just like super, super raspy. All right, so this Taurian energy, we also have flowers again over here. So I'm definitely getting that your guide somehow is connected to plant life, and they might speak to you in a physical way through plants or certain flowers. So if you tend to be attracted to a certain flower or plant very heavily, research what that means. If you just type into Google like lily spiritual meaning, for example, there will be like spiritual meanings that correlate to each flower, or it could be the color of the flower. So you can research about the color and stuff like that to kind of see some messages that your guide might be sending you, because I do feel like they talk in that sort of way. Taurus is also like, they're a very strong sign. They're very relaxed, very confident. And we're talking about the sign as it's like fully developed. Of course, there's Taurians out there who might be struggling with confidence and stuff like that, but your guide is very connected to the sign of Taurus, which is telling me that they're also very humorous, but very relaxed about their humor. They can be pretty sarcastic at times and stuff like that. They do enjoy like the fun of life while also being pretty dang serious. Then we do also have the full moon. Also with this Taurus, I do want to mention, I totally just got another message. They want you to be a bit more relaxed and have a bit more fun with life. And so they have a message for you right now about just relax. Everything is totally working out as planned. Enjoy it. Laugh a little, become a little bit silly, allow your weird side to come out, and just enjoy life. They want you to know that life is to be enjoyed. Even when things go wrong, life is an experience. This is just for us to experience here. There's character development, there's human growth through all of this, which is a beautiful thing. And you can just have fun with it. You can enjoy the experience. It's almost like playing a video game, you know? And you know, there's going to be certain battles in the video game, or like a movie. Let's use a movie, for example, because a movie's like are a better example for this. So the main character might go through really hard times, you know, during part of the film, and we're all sitting there like, don't worry, main character, everything's gonna work out in the end. I feel like your guide is almost sending you that energy, because they're almost watching you play out this movie, essentially. And they're like, okay, it's fine that last thing didn't work out. Trust me, there's something so much better in store for you. Just have fun with it. And you know, you so wish you could reach through the television screen and be like, main character, it's fine. Just watch what you're going to become by the end of it. Just watch who you're going to be by the end. I feel like your guide is sending you that sort of energy, and they're like, just have fun with it. Enjoy this experience, and just know and trust that, you know, your guide has your back. The universe has your back. Everything's going to be Gucci in the end of it. And then we do also have the full moon over here. So this is a very intense, very powerful energy. This is really giving me the message of maybe you guys sometimes worry about like, oh, am I missing out on my destiny? Was that meant to be? Did I mess it up? Your guide is here telling you that there's no way of messing it up. The full moon is like, you guys will fulfill every aspect in your life that you need to. It will be perfect. It will be great. Just trust along with it. Everything will be complete. And your guide is helping you make sure that everything works out in completion. You don't have to worry about messing things up here and there or whatever. It's just like, this is all part of the story. It's all part of the story, you guys. And then our last card over here is Uranus, unpredictability. So your life might be quite unpredictable. You might notice that things are constantly changing in a way that you're just like, what's going on? But don't worry, your guide's like, everything has a purpose here and everything is gonna be okay. Again, it's all about experience. I feel like your guide is also pretty unpredictable too, and they're pretty creative, so they might show up at the most random times, and they help guide you through it. This is all like meant to be. I'm really getting the vibes of this is all meant to be, you guys. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys, pile number one. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. All right, so group number two, if you guys chose this pile, this is gonna be all about who your guides are. Woo, my little plant. Keep knocking him in the leaf today. So without further ado, let's hop right into this, starting now. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, I'm getting tingles. We have the Two of Cups reversed over here, and then the Lovers over here on both ends. And then we also have the Two of Wands. This is signifying like someone who's very, very, very connected to you. I'm getting two different messages. Again, it's a general reading, so find out which one correlates with you the most. First off, I want to say that your guide potentially, for half of you, the other half, it'll be the other thing that I say. So for half of you, if there was somebody that you were extremely close to in this life, this can be a family member, a friend, or a lover that has passed away, They are your guide that is coming through the most prominently right now in this reading in particular. If you haven't, this would be somebody that was a lover with you in a past life. That is your guide now. Somebody who you were like married to and had a very, very, very deep connection with. Yeah, somebody who you had that very extremely deep, could even be a family member from a past life, but I'm really getting there's more of a romantic connection here. If you guys have had somebody close to you pass away, whether that's a family member or a friend or a loved one, a lover or partner, they're definitely your guide right now. They moved on to being your guide. And I do want to say that this person is still extremely connected with you. They are with you all the time, in fact, especially since we have the Two of Wands. No matter where you go in the world, they are right there. Even if it feels like they're not. So the Two of Cups over here being reversed, this is showing me that they're probably not with you physically anymore. There was something that sort of like broke this tie, either in a past life or in this life, which would either signify that, you know, of course, you're no longer connected in your past life because now you've moved on to this life. Everything ended in that past life. So that would be what the Two of Cups reverse indicates over there. Or this would be, sorry, I want to mention my throat is like super like scratchy this morning. This is my first time talking this morning because I just wake up and I go right into filming my videos. So my voice is super raspy. So I apologize if it sometimes sounds like I'm losing my voice entirely. But yes, the other side of this is if you guys lost somebody in this life who is very close to you, this is the kind of disconnect that it's talking about. All right, so the Two of Wands being our next card, this guide is with you all the time. And they're definitely, they have almost, the Two of Wands is reminding me of a very distant influence on you. They're with you and they're very close to you as your guide, very, very, very close. But they don't try to influence your decisions too much. They almost look at you and they're like, okay, you're doing fine on your own. There's no possible way that you could mess anything up. And they genuinely believe that and they genuinely know that. They're watching you and they're like, okay, you know what, you're perfect. Even if sometimes you feel like you're making mistakes, etc., etc. This guide is like, okay, no, this is, you're doing everything perfectly. And they don't really have much to do or say. And so they're almost, you know, just watching you from afar. The Two of Wands is definitely, I feel like, I also feel, because of the fact that in the Two of Wands, she's holding the world over here, you know, it does show that she or he is, you know, distanced away from you. I don't feel like they're right over your shoulder every second. I feel like they're really looking at the big picture for you. And they're a guide that, you know, helps you through the big picture, and they don't try to have, again, too much dominion or guidance, because they really look at you, they're like, wow, you're just doing it perfectly already. I really don't have much to say. You know, it's almost like a teacher in school where the kid is just doing great and they don't need any help and they just keep getting straight A's and you're just looking at them like, I have nothing more to teach you. I have nothing more to say. It doesn't mean that they don't step in when they need to. I feel like they still do, but for the most part, I feel like 90% of the time, they're really looking at you, being like, wow, I couldn't have done it better myself. You're doing great. So yeah, they are at a bit of a distance, but yet they're also very close. I want to really stress that they're extremely connected to you, and the Lovers really tells me that they're extremely connected to you. But when it comes to actual guidance, they keep a little bit of a distance because they really feel like you're doing it so great already. Even if you feel like you don't do it great, because I know a lot of us, we can be pretty critical over ourselves. Your guide's literally looking at you like, this is great. Like, really, truly, I feel really proud. So yeah, they do kind of have that distance sort of feel. Also, I'm getting that your guide is like not necessarily always on Earth, if that makes sense. This can be very esoteric, so some of you guys might be watching this being like, what is this girl on about? But I'm a firm believer in that consciousness, once it is not attached to a body, can travel, you know, outside of the Earth to anywhere that they want. This guide, their consciousness isn't always on Earth, but yet they're still very connected to you because, you know, space doesn't really exist. Even Einstein had this theory that, you know, space and time are both something that doesn't actually exist and everything exists in a single moment. Kind of a broad concept to explain right now and would take way too long to explain right now, but essentially, no matter how distant something is, it is also with you at the same time. It's a really crazy concept. But anyway, your guide is almost like that. And I feel like they are very connected to other realms and other planets and stuff like that. Could even be that your consciousness and their consciousness was once connected from a different planet, solar system, that sort of thing. Who knows? Very esoteric stuff that I'm throwing out there. So again, sorry if some of you guys are listening to this being like, what? But maybe for some of you it'll make sense. The next card that we have over here is the Five of Pentacles being reversed. And this is telling me that sometimes you might feel like there's not really a strong guidance around you, or sometimes you might feel like, you know, you really need help. Anytime you ask them for help, by the way, they are right there. I do want to say, anytime that you feel like you need protection, anytime that you feel like you need help or guidance, or you just want to feel the presence of this person or this guide there, you just need to ask and they're like, bam, right there. Normally they're watching you from a distance, but again, if you ask, they're just like, poof, right there, giving you a kiss on the forehead, helping you through anything. Anytime you feel sad, anytime you feel whatever, you can just call on your guide. I feel like you have multiple, but this one's just coming up very strong right now. You can call on them at any moment and they're just like hugging you, embracing you, giving you love, anything like that. So yes, they're letting you know you can call on them anytime and they'll be right by your side through anything that you ask them to help you through. So definitely want to throw that out there. Also, the Five of Pentacles is, yeah, again, kind of reiterating that distance thing that we were talking about. The next two cards that we have over here is Fate and Get Curious. All right, so Fate over here is telling me that, yeah, I have a lot of messages from this card. It's almost like, for one, fate brought you two together in previous lifetimes. This egg is showing me that, you know, the beginning of life, they're sort of just there. And I feel like everything's just planned. You guys almost... There's another esoteric topic. You guys are just really getting all the super esoteric stuff from me that might sound totally whack. And I totally understand that if some of you guys are watching this being like, this is just a lot. But there's also a lot of theories that before your consciousness incarnates into a life, that you are surrounded by, you know, your loved ones on the other side, other stuff like that. And you essentially plan a little bit of, you know, your purpose of coming down and reincarnating on Earth or wherever you guys reincarnate. And a little bit is a bit of a blueprint. You know, you make a little bit of a blueprint. I feel like your guide is like there with you through that, and they're just like, okay, everything's working out, it's going great. So that's a theory. Can't exactly be proven, that theory, but I'm getting that message from this card for some reason, so I thought I'd point it out. Then we also have the Get Curious card over here. So your guide wants you to know that you cannot mess up your life. That's the message that your guide is really trying to say to you right now, is that there's no wrong decision that you could make. I feel like your life in particular is pretty flexible, and they want you to know that you're here for an experience. There's some of us that come down to Earth and, you know, sometimes we have to follow a very strict sort of blueprint because we decided that we want to learn specific things, we want to fulfill specific things, and then some of us are just here for an experience. So your guide wants you to know that you're here to experience, you're allowed to get curious, you're allowed to make mistakes, and there's nothing that could really take you off your path. Because I feel like you guys in particular, you're really here to experience, and your guide really wants you to know that. They want you to know that you're here to grow, you're here to blossom, you're here to experience, do whatever you decide to do, and that is essentially your destiny that they want you to know. The last three cards that we have over here, We have the 8th house of transformation, which is very connected to the sign of Scorpio. We have Luna, which is the moon, which is very connected to Cancer. And then we also have the 12th house, secrets, which is the Pisces house. So, oh wow, we have all 3 water signs. That is crazy. Was not expecting that. Wow, okay. 8th house, transformations. So the 8th house deals with deep loss. So again, I feel like either in a past life or this life, it's again reiterating that this guide is connected to you because they lived with you. I'm really getting that for most of you guys, this guide actually was born with you this lifetime, but passed away already. So yeah, I'm definitely getting that. Like, your guide is somebody who was with you on this planet and passed away, but is still very connected to you and decided to be your guide. Yeah, I'm getting that very strongly. Love you guys. Just gonna give you guys a heart right now. Luna over here is very connected to the moon. This is almost giving me a very deep emotional connection. It's quite connected to the Lovers card, although the Lovers does resemble Gemini, but the emotional quality, it's also very connected to the Two of Cups. This is like a very deep emotional connection. So again, it's reiterating that this guide has a very deep emotional connection with you, and I feel like they're there with you, especially when you're feeling any deep emotion, and they're really there to comfort you at any moment in time. And then we do also have the 12th house of secrets. So the 12th house is very connected to Pisces. This guide is very connected to you spiritually and emotionally. Yeah, hugely. In fact, I feel like you can get messages from them very easily. These are the most psychic signs. And so I feel like another message in here is that your guide, I feel like you're so connected to this person that you could almost telepathically communicate with them. So that's what I'm getting there. Again, it might seem very esoteric and out there, but those are the messages that we're getting in this pile. Love you guys so much. That's what I'm seeing for you guys, pile number 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. All right, so group number 3, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your reading about who your guides are. So let's hop right into it. All right, so pile number 3, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we start off with Strength reversed. We have the King of Swords reversed, then we have the Moon, and then the Moon Child. Wow, 2 in a row right there. That's so crazy. Anyway, first off, I want to mention with these 2 cards over here, I'm definitely feeling a more masculine energy from this guide. So your guide is most likely a male. It doesn't mean that they have to be. Again, we do have multiple guides, but we're just kind of looking at the most prominent one here. And I'm definitely feeling like the most prominent one for you is more of a masculine energy. It could still be a female, but a very like, you know, strong, sturdy, like kind of female with a bit more masculine energy. But for the most part, I'm definitely feeling for like most of you guys, you have a male guide, or at least just a male energy. Truly, guides don't really have a gender, but if we had to put a gender to it, I would say definitely more of a masculine type of energy here. So the Strength being reversed over here, I feel like your guide can sometimes be a little bit impatient and really they're really trying to help you develop pretty quickly. And the King of Swords being next, especially when it's reversed, I feel like your guide's actually pretty strict with you, which is quite interesting. So I feel like you guys, your guide actually has a lot of influence. So unlike the other piles, your guide will have not that they can really influence your life. They're just guides, and so we tend to really just, they don't have a lot of say, but yet they can help guide us based on what they see that we need or want or desire, and they help us get there. But with your desires and your dreams and all the things that you desire to do in this lifetime, your guide is being pretty strict with you, and so you might notice that certain things that you want to do somehow have pretty sharp endings, or like the swords, they're always there to like cut ties with certain things. And so you might notice that things change quite often and quite quickly. Not everything in your life, but there's definitely a few things that, you know, you'll definitely notice a pattern of Sometimes you start something, or like a friendship or a partnership with somebody, and it ends so abruptly. And it's almost like, what happened? And it's pretty confusing, but it's because your guide is like, this is not good for us anymore. They kind of just cut away all the things that don't actually serve you. Not in a negative way, but it's because they know that there's something better for you, and they're like, no, 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 no. Don't get too attached with this thing, because this isn't the thing that is actually meant for you. And so you'll notice that sometimes it seems like, you know, you're looking at your life and you're like, why do these things keep abruptly ending or abruptly falling apart for me? It's your guide letting you know that that's not meant for you. Though another message that I'm really getting right now that you guys really need to pay attention to is the fact that don't think just because everything ends that it wasn't meant for you. There's certain things, and I feel like you'll know deep down inside. You'll have a gut feeling about this. So please pay attention to this if you pay attention to anything in this reading. There will be a gut feeling whether or not that thing was meant for you. You'll know it deeply inside. Your guide wants you to know that there's certain things in the future that will feel like they fall apart, but they are actually meant for you. And this goes with, like, you know, career choices or certain things that you really desire, and you know in your gut that it's meant for you. There's going to be certain things that you really desire that are not meant for you, and then certain ones that are meant for you. But sometimes we come across obstacles in our lives that are meant to help us grow, although that thing might be actually meant for us, but we need to learn a lot around it. And so it might seem like there's obstacles around it. There's a difference between obstacles and then things being cut out of your life. That's what your guide really wants you to know. If it seems like it's an obstacle or a challenge of some kind, that's probably there for character development. If it seems like something is just being strictly like removed from your life, that is your guide saying that's not meant for you. That's not meant for you. So sometimes you might have to reach deep within to really feel out and decipher which is which. But your guide really wanted you to know that message. Though they're there letting you know that there's certain things that they're going to help guide you through, and they want you to know that there's usually something better. And if you ever do lose something, like a specific like lover maybe breaks up with you or something like that, your guide wants you to know that usually it's because there's something better out there, and that they were also placed in there as more of a learning lesson than anything. So yeah, definitely getting that message pretty strongly there for you guys. So don't ever worry too much about life. Your guides are guiding you really well. Yes, you'll have to decipher between which is which. Sometimes your guide is also letting you know that they're there taking care of it. So don't like fixate on these things, and don't let it like overwhelm you, because your guide is there for a reason. They're like, hey, don't worry, I got this. Like, you don't have to think about it too much. Just keep going along with life and just trust. Just keep going along with it and just trust. Your guide will send you feelings. Your guide will send you like signs that will be very obvious, so you don't need to worry. They could even come in through your dreams when we have the moon card over here. There could be certain dreams that you have that your guide is helping speak to you in and guiding you with certain dreams and stuff like that. I do also want to mention my voice might sound so cracky and raspy. I keep filming all of my pick-a cards in the mornings, and so my rasp has still not gone away yet. So I apologize if my voice sounds like it's totally dying right now. The next card we have over here is the Moon Child. So I feel like your guide is almost acting as your parent, is the first thing that I kind of get from here. Although I don't feel like, again, guides don't really have ages or genders, but if I had to put an age to the energy of this, they're young, but not too young. They're like sort of like mid-adult, which is kind of like, I'm getting that they're, if I had to place an age on their energy, they're definitely in their like young 30s. That's the sort of energy I'm getting from them. And they almost look at you though as their little baby. Although maybe some of you guys are actually older than that. but they still kind of look at you as like, I must take care of you. You are like my child, my baby. So they almost look at you in that sort of way. I do want to mention, that card's definitely just giving me those vibes for pretty obvious reasons. But yeah, I'm definitely getting that from this. I'm also seeing that they see you as very perfect, and they almost see you as innocent, even though a lot of you guys might be like, well, I'm not innocent. I've been through so much. But I feel like your guide is looking at you, and they feel a sort of like connection where they see you as this sort of like innocent being, and they just want to protect you, and that's why they're pretty harsh with you at sometimes, or harsh with the things in your life, is because they're protecting you from a lot. So I do want to mention that. It's also because I feel like you guys, you have more of a blueprint in your life of things that you want to create and fulfill. You have more of a defined purpose, and your guide is really helping you achieve that. And so sometimes they need to be a bit more harsh with you because you have a bit more of a defined purpose, and also because they're just very protective of you. So they care about you a lot. Adding the next two cards onto here, we have the Sage and Surrender. So the Sage deals with clearing out things that are, I'm getting the message from this card that they clear out things that are just not meant for you, or the things that don't serve you. The Sage deals with clearing energy, and so they're a guide that does that. That card just kind of reiterates all of that. They're also there protecting you. So anytime you feel negative energy, stuff like that, they're there to protect you. They're there to keep you safe, all of that jazz. And then we do also have Surrender. So your guide wants you to know, don't try to control your life too much. If there's certain things that do not work out, especially in terms of relationships, your guide just wants you to know, surrender to that. There's a reason why that is happening, and just trust it. That goes with a lot of things in your life, but mostly I'm getting in the relationship department. It can also be career-wise as well. Most of you, I'm definitely feeling relationship-y kind of stuff that might not work out. So your guide wants you to know that you should be surrendering to this. Don't try to control it. Just go along with the flow of it and trust that there's something better. Anytime something doesn't work out, again, your guide wants you to know, it's like your guide is looking at you, and it's almost like they can see the outline of your life and the things that are coming in your future and stuff like that. And they see things happening, and they're like, wait a minute, no, there's somebody so much better, or there's a plan that's so much better that you're gonna enjoy way more, and they're almost looking at you like, please listen, don't, no. So just surrender to it, because trust me, they have your best interest in mind. They unconditionally love you, and they know exactly what you want in life, and they're helping you achieve that. So just trust it. The last three cards that we have over here is the Gemini card, and then we also have the first quarter moon, and then we also have Soul, which is sun. So starting off with the Gemini over here, this guide is very connected to you. They have your back. They love to communicate with you, so definitely listen. I feel like with this sort of communication, they communicate with you in words, and so you might get like song lyrics stuck in your head. That'll be a way of them communicating with you. You might get certain, like if you're watching a movie, there might be a certain line that really sticks out to you. That's another way of them communicating with you. Definitely through words, so listen to the things that really resonate with you or get really like stuck in your head and stuff like that you can't stop thinking about. Also with the first quarter moon, this is like, I feel like your guide is letting you know your potentiality in life, and they're like, okay, you've really only reached the first quarter here. You haven't even surfaced your full potential. So please just trust where they're guiding you, because there's so much more that is in store for you guys. And then Soul over here, they're letting you know that there's so much good here, okay? The sun, whenever it comes up, is very bright, very illuminating. They're letting you know that there's so much brightness and so much positivity in your life that they have in store for you. It just deals with surrendering and letting go of the things that no longer serve you and the things that don't serve you. So that is what I'm getting for you, pile number 3. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. All right, so my last pile, pile number 4, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your guides. So let's hop right into it. All right, so pile number 4, this is what we have for you guys. So we have the 3 of Wands being reversed. We have the Devil reversed, which do not be scared about this card. I just want to mention that for you guys. Some of you might be sitting there like, oh my God, what pile did I pick? Do not worry. This just has more of a meaning to it just trust me, okay? Just trust me. I do also want to mention, it was so weird. I never look at the cards until I flip them over during the reading, so like right now. And interestingly enough, when I was picking the cards, and when I was picking them for pile number 4, I literally felt like this card was in here. I had this like feeling, and I was like, oh, that's going to be an interesting one to explain. And I so felt like that card was in there, and lo and behold, it is literally in the pile that I just felt. I was like, oh my God, I totally feel like that card's in there. Anyway, this has a meaning. Don't be scared about it, okay? We're gonna get into that. And then we also do have the 8 of Wands, right side up. And then we also have the Page of Pentacles, right side up. So let's get into what all of this means. Okay, so this is actually such a powerful and positive reading. I do want to mention before we hop into this, so I do actually want to start with talking about the Devil card being reversed over here. So yeah, had a total feeling that this card was going to be in this pile. I don't know why. I knew it, guys. I knew it. And it's so crazy whenever, you know, the things that you just know so deeply and then it happens and then you're just sitting there in awe. No matter how many times it happens, you're just still sitting there like, yep, I called it. I so called it. Anyway, that's just me floating my own boat right now. So the Devil card being reversed. You guys are ready to step up your game, and your guide is helping you specifically to step up your game. And your guide is specifically here right now very strongly because they see this ultimate potential in you guys that you guys are repressing. And there's multiple reasons why suppression can happen, but you're coming out of it. So your guide is like, ooh, you're on the way of like breaking free of these limiting chains. And these limiting chains can be in there because we have self-confidence issues, we have lack of worth issues. It can be that we actually have certain addictions. I feel like I pronounced that weird. Anyway. There can be certain addictions that they're helping you get over, or limiting beliefs, things that, you know, you feel like you're holding yourselves back, but you might not even realize it, because usually the devil's like the illusions that surround us, so we feel like we're not good enough, but it's an illusion. Or we feel like we're so attached to relationships, people, these are toxic ones when the devil comes up. We're too attached to toxic things in our lives with addictions to, you know, certain people, certain relationships, bad behaviors, bad habits, stuff like that. So when this card comes up, your guide is coming in so strong right now because they're letting you know that they're specifically here for you to help you step up your game and step out of this zone. So they're coming in really strong right now for that. The 8 of Wands over here is they're really excited to push you free of this, and they're literally here to break the chains. Oh my God, I'm getting almost a Game of Thrones reference right now. Your guide is so strong and so powerful. It's almost like your guide is like this dragon in Game of Thrones, ready to be the breaker of chains, inspiring you to be Daenerys Stormborn. Like, that is what this guide is here for. They're like, we are going to help you gain confidence, gain strength, gain the ability to just one-up yourself, let go of toxic things in your life. They're here for you to break your chains so you can be free. The 3 of Wands being reversed in the start, this is letting me know that I feel like your guide is really stepping through right now so powerfully to the point where he's like, okay, your other guides, you do have other guides. This card's telling me that you have multiple guides, which everyone does have multiple guides. The 3 is probably telling me that specifically you have about 3 guides that come in very prominently for you. But right now in particular, and I mean, they're all there pretty strongly, actually. They're all there quite strongly, those 3. yeah, they're almost like equally as powerful, but I do feel like there's one in particular coming through more strongly right now that is like, it's time. It is time to break free of toxic behaviors, thinking patterns, habits, people, stuff like that. The Page of Pentacles is letting me know that there is like a new beginning for you guys. Your guides are really supporting you in lifting you up. As we can see in this Page of Pentacles, he's almost like, you know, lifting up this pentacle and just being like, woo. I feel like your guides are there and they almost like, you know, they're supporting you, they're surrounding you in a positive way and literally lifting you up and out of some ish right now. And anytime that you fall into some ish, they're literally, they have your back and they're literally just lifting you, helping you get out of these things. And they do it with unconditional love. They don't do it out of disappointment. They don't do it out of anything but unconditional love for you. As we can see, like this page right here, the way that he's just lifting that pentacle, he's doing it like with strength and courage and almost as if he's like proud of this pentacle. He's like, so your guides are actually quite proud of you. They're very proud of you. Yeah, and they just have nothing but positive things about you. They literally look at you with unconditional love, which all guides do. They don't ever actually look at us. There's a lot of memes out there that are like, ooh, my spirit guide's looking down on me and all the mistakes I make in my life, which are hilarious memes, by the way, but totally not true in how guides operate at all. In fact, they usually look at us continuingly with unconditional love. So yeah, they're lifting you up and they're like, we got you. We got you. But they're also like, it's time, it's really time to let go of these darker things that have been surrounding you. So that's the message from your guides. I feel like this pick a card video should have been called messages from your guides, although we are meeting them at the same time, but there's usually some pretty strong messages that come along with meeting them, so pretty interesting. The next two cards that we have is Dare to, oh my God. I knew that this card was going to be in here too. I totally knew it. When I was shuffling these cards, wow, this doesn't happen often at all. In fact, this is kind of the first time that this has happened to me in a reading where I just know the cards that are going to be there. This card, when I was shuffling this deck, this card flew out actually. And when I looked at it, I was like, oh, I so hope that card gets into one of these piles. Although I never pick cards by knowing what they are. I always have them upside down and I just put some cards onto a pile, the ones that I feel like really fit the pile. But this card, when it fell out and it flew out at me earlier when I was shuffling, I literally looked at that card and I was like, that's gotta be in a pile in this reading. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. So yeah, it was more profound with this one because I just knew that this card was in this pile somehow. This card, when it popped out at me earlier today, I felt like it was gonna be in one of the piles and I just knew it had to be, although I never automatically put them, even if I feel like it needs to be in a pile, I never pick it and know that it's gonna, anyway. I'm going off right now and you guys are just like, get back to my reading. I'm just going off on Storyland right now. Anyway, so Dare to Dream, oh my goodness. So your guides want you to know that you have so much potential within you and they're there like, okay, it's time to transition. You're like a little gem that's caught in the rough right now and they're there literally picking you up out of it. As you can see, like this claw, which your guides don't have claws, but it's metaphoric, I guess. So your guide is literally like the bird that is picking you, the gem, up out of the rough and they're like, come on, it's time to get out of the dirt and it's time to go where all of the gems belong. So they're lifting you up out of these toxic things right now to help you transition into where you truly do belong. And again, this is really telling me that as well with these bats that are flying. The shadow is very connected to the devil card. This is also about dealing with our shadow self. So there might be parts of you that you repress or you deny or you don't want to face. Definitely those of you who chose this pile, definitely go check out my shadow work video. It would probably help you a lot, especially since we have the shadow card coming up. I feel like your guides are guiding you right now to do shadow work and face your shadow in order to turn it and transmute it into light. So that's definitely what I'm feeling for you guys through those two cards. Our last three cards that we have over here, we have Mercury, which is connected to Gemini and Virgo. Then we have Mars, which is connected to Aries and Scorpio. And then, oh my gosh, this card will not stay straight. And then we also have a Leo. Very fun. So, starting off with Mercury, your guides are communicating with you constantly. This is usually when they communicate with you through words. So again, listen to song lyrics if you get any stuck in your head or if any stick out to you, or if you're watching a movie and certain lines stick out to you. I did say this in the last pile as well because they had the Gemini card, which is very connected to words as well. So listen to words, or if you're walking by on a street and you see like a literal sign that says something, or you're scrolling through Instagram and there's something that really sticks out to you, in word form usually, pay attention to it because that's their way of communicating with you. When we have Mars over here, again, your guide's pretty strong with you, and they are literally being a warrior for you and helping you step into more of a powerful, confident personality. They're helping you develop into that, and your guide is also that. They're quite strong, quite powerful. I feel like they're connected to Rome when I look at this card, so they might be some sort of like, you know, they might have had a pretty prominent past life in Rome, and so they have this sort of like Spartan, sort of like really like strict, like let's do this, let's pick you back up, let's put this gem where they belong. Anyway, next card, our last card, is the Leo card. So they look at you with such light. Leo's ruled by the sun, and the sun is just all good things. They want you to step into more of a powerful place here where you are able to really see yourself in a powerful way, do the shadow work, face and confront the aspects of yourself that you don't like, to transmute them, to change them, and also to get rid of like toxic behaviors, habits, and patterns and people and stuff like that. And so yeah, you can fully step into a confident, beautiful, shining place. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 4, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. So that brings us to the end of today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, thank you to Keen for sponsoring today's video. If you guys want to go check out Keen, I highly recommend that you do. If you guys want to go check them out, the link is in the description, which is trykeen.com/gem5mins to get your first 5 minutes for only $5. And again, if you're a current Keen member, definitely go check your inbox for this week's special discounts so that you guys can get your next reading for a little bit of a discounted price. And yes, love you guys so much. Sending you guys all my love. See you guys in my next video.